Before performing maintenance on any rifle, always remove the magazine and inspect the chamber to ensure the gun is unloaded. With the gun now safe, we can begin by locating the detent on the side of the gas plug. Once located, depress the detent and rotate the plug counterclockwise 270 degrees. Depending on your variation, this may be a lever rather than a detent. If this is the case, simply rotate the lever upwards and proceed to remove the plug. Note that when removing it, you'll need to maintain a solid grip on the part as it is under spring tension. With the plug removed, the piston and piston spring are free to be taken out of the front and separated. Next, locate the takedown lever at the rear left of the receiver and rotate it slightly rearwards. If the lever does not function, you'll need to cycle the bolt to ensure the rifle is in battery, as the lever will not function if the action is not locked up. With the action now broken open, slide the top cover rearward and off the rifle, followed by the bolt carrier assembly. Next, the bolt and carrier can be separated. To do so, push the bolt rearward in the carrier, lift up at the front of the bolt, pull the bolt forward, and separate it from the carrier. Note that some variants, such as this one, have a longer firing pin than normal, preventing the separation of these two parts. If so, simply depress the firing pin at the rear of the bolt to free it. While the bolt can be disassembled further, it's not necessary unless you're replacing damaged or worn out parts. For easier cleaning, we'll separate the upper and lower receiver by removing the front pivot pin. Do this by holding onto the left side of the pin and unscrewing the right side using a flathead screwdriver. At this point, this is as far as we need to go for basic field stripping. The gun is now ready for cleaning, and we'll be covering that step by step in part 2.
Gentlemen, welcome. We have a new FN on the channel, an absolutely beautiful Israeli model I put together from a parts kit. Someday I'd like a more modernized, tricked out FN, but for now we're going to appreciate what we have and get these two elegant weapons for a more civilized day ready for their next range session. Do check to make sure your firearms are clear before beginning. There are two different versions of the takedown lever, one that pushes up and the other that pulls back, so you can open the firearm, pull out the guts, and slide off the dust cover. The easiest way to clean the barrel, I find, is using a bore snake. I never enjoyed using the patches. Just dribble some oil before and after the bristles and run it through the bore a few times until you're satisfied. That's all the oil we're going to need. For the rest of this, we'll be using grease. As I understand machinery, you use oil on things that rotate and grease where things slide. That's probably gross oversimplification, but I like grease on the FN because it doesn't run, evaporate, or turn into a fine mist when I start shooting. I cover the bolt, the rails, and any place where I see wear on the finish. I personally never worry about adding too much. It'll take what it needs and deposit the rest out of the way. This particular stuff is white lithium grease by Lucas Oil Products. It's the exact same stuff Jim Fuller uses on his AKs, which is how I learned about it, and it served me well. I've used it on my AKs in temperatures ranging from below 0 degrees Fahrenheit to over 100 degrees, and it's run perfectly fine. I've also used this grease on my Rody FAL in the rain with no problems. Although, side note, the FAL is very slippery when blessing the rains. Now, the only other part of cleaning the FAL is the gas piston, and as I understand it, it's meant to run dry. So all I do is wipe it clean and put it back where I found it. I do love the FAL's gas system. It has a lot of adjustability, and how I set it is I find the lowest setting to where it'll just barely cycle the action reliably, and then open up the gas port 2 or 3 more notches. To me, this is a good mix of the softest recoil I can go while maintaining constant reliability. On my FALs, this makes the brass eject about 8 feet when the rifle is clean, and when I notice the brass ejecting closer, I then know it's time to clean the rifle. Now, of course, there's no single way to clean and lubricate an FN, so if you do something different, let me know in the comments below. I learn a lot from you guys, and thank you so much for all the great comments, likes, and subs. It's very humbling, and I'm happy to have you along. In one of my next videos, I'll be reviewing the OG mod of attaching an FN pistol grip to the handguard, so be on the lookout for that, and we'll catch each other in the next one.